What's going on YouTube? It's Eric here from MajorLeagueTrading.com coming at you with another video here. It is June 17th. We got about 9 minutes to go here for the markets to close. It's 3:51 Eastern. And we've been getting a lot of questions lately about the BYND IPO. So I'm going to take a look at that and then kind of review also the levels that we had on the day here for the Nadex. So you guys can see the only thing I did trade today in terms of futures was the Nasdaq, and that was good for $496.40 there on the day. You can see S&P's 0, Russell 0, and the Dow 0 as well. Nasdaq here ended up giving out the morning analysis for today on YouTube and looking for a move up here into 77.50s. Was talking about this in the pre-market session here, and we ended up getting that level, traded it right to the tick. So the level could not have been any more spot on for us here, and we actually ended up with a signal in place on the day there as well. So you can see here on the top left chart, there is a divergent signal there as well. That trade did in fact trigger, and you can see that has been the top of the day. So we had the level line up with a signal and pretty much traded, or not pretty much, it did trade exactly to the tick there in the Nasdaq. So pretty decent day on Monday to start off here, $496.40 in the Nasdaq. But what I really want to talk about here is BYND. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of move this off to the side a bit there and then stretch this chart out and talk about BYND. So BYND is a most recent IPO, or a recent IPO. I shouldn't say the most recent. It is a recent IPO here, and it came out back on the 2nd of May. So you'll see that, this chart is completely expanded out, and the first day that it is able to trade, or that it is trading here, is back on May 2nd. Now, this thing has had an unbelievable run. It traded all the way up into $186.43. So the real question is, it opened down here at like 45 bucks, right? So this thing went from 45 to 186 bucks. And then the very next day dropped and traded as low as like 125. So sold off like 60 points basically overnight there. And you can see it's been slowly working its way back up here now on the hourly chart. So the real question is, how do you trade IPOs? Is there a specific way to focus on them, a strategy, something that you can put some rules around and be concrete with? And there is. So the last IPO that I traded that was within its first month or so of coming out and being an IPO was Facebook, and that was way back in, man, I want to say that was like 2012, 2013 for Facebook IPO here. We'll go ahead and pull up a weekly chart of Facebook, which Facebook, again, is having a really nice day today here, up 4.4%, almost $8 on the day. I think this has something to do with their whole crypto launch thing coming out here. Anyway, so 2012 was May of 2012 when Facebook came out with its IPO. You can see it came out right down in here, ended up selling off, and then has just been, this is a weekly chart, has been working its way to the upside, some decent pullbacks along the way ever since. So the real question is is there ever going to be a pullback in BYND where you can get back into it for, 40 bucks and it goes back to, $189, right? So BYND is done in basically a month and a half in terms of price what took Facebook years. I mean, Facebook's 189 right now. Let's say beginning of last year it got there. So in basically 5.5 years, it took Facebook to get to that same price level that it took BYND to do in just basically 5.5 weeks. 2, 4, 6, I call it 7 weeks, right? Either way, big difference there in terms of how long it's taken BYND to get this rally. So one of the rules that I have here for trading IPOs, which I don't do it very often. I like the futures and I like trading the charts that have historical data on them. I need to be able to pull levels from. I need to be able to see something on the chart. And when a chart just brand new opens up and there's no past data, it makes it rather difficult for me, at least, to trade that. And what I'm looking at, let me make sure something here. Okay. So what I'm looking at here with BYND, and I don't think, okay. So what I'm looking at here with BYND is, number one, I need to see it trade for a bit. I want to see some data on the charts, right? And then the second thing is, and whether that is, 10 days or 50 days or whatever, you just need to be able to see some type of trend one way or the other on both the daily chart and then on the hourly chart, right? I like to focus my levels around the hourly chart. And again, so I want to make sure that I have something on there that actually I'm able to pull from. And then the second thing is, you need some type of catalyst around this. You need some type of either big move to the upside or big move to the downside with some volume that comes in, and you need that news announcements and people talking about these IPOs when you get those other two things combined. And then the final thing that I like to see is, I like to see options available on the underlying, so in this case BYND, that I'm looking to trade. Now, right now we do have options available on BYND. We actually had options available last week. And again, I looked at this when it first came out, and I've been kind of watching it. Haven't really wanted to do much with it until last week. So I went ahead and put a position on last week here in BYND. And basically what I saw is, okay, we had sold off rather aggressively. We'll take a look at the charts. And I'm thinking that that 186.43 level ends up getting taken out in BYND, right? So if I can find a way to not, one, buy the stock, because the stock is, relatively expensive, and it whips, it moves a lot. It's up 12% today, $18. And again, it went all the way up to 186 and then back down to 125 the very next day. That's not something I want to be in when I'm actually trading the stock itself. Again, I don't have any control over that risk. I don't have any type of defined risk that I can put around that trade. So for me, with IPOs, I like to step in when there's options available. You can see it's hard to borrow right now. So there's not a lot of shares out there that you can get short. So if you did want to trade this to the short side, your only option is really to step into the options market. No pun intended with that one. Or you got to talk to your broker, find shares, things like that. That part doesn't really concern me. I was not looking to short BYND here, so it wasn't really a factor here. But the position that I put on here, so I looked at it and I said, okay, if it can get it back up through 186.43s, then maybe we've got a shot at getting up close to 200. So what I did is I stepped in and I bought the 180-200 call spread. There's the bell. The 180-200 call spread here for BYND. I bought it last week and I paid $1.25 for it. You can see that right in there. So I bought it on 6/12, and these are the costs and everything like that for the trade. P&L open on the trade. You can see all that stuff right there as well. But let me click this off. There we go. You can see current trade price for that was $1.25. Here's where I got filled on those on each individual strike itself. And then you can see now where that total spread is trading for that vertical spread. So $3.72 is where it's currently trading for. I bought it for $1.25, and you can see the P&L open here, about $1,238.46. So the market just closed. It closed at a 169.96 this year, so up 12.2% on the day, and looking for this bid and ask to continue to rise here in BYND. So we'll see if this thing wants to continue to rally to the upside here for us or not, and work our way up kind of through this 175 area, 174 and change, and then through those 186.43s. So those are the criterias that I like to see when it comes to trading the IPOs. I want to make sure that there's enough data on the chart so that I can determine some type of trend in and around that that particular product, or in this case a stock. And then I want to make sure that there's some type of catalyst, some type of direction that it's working itself in, and we're getting some type of media coverage on that particular IPO, and which isn't necessarily a huge thing. If we don't have that one, I'm completely okay with it. I do like to see it though, and meaning that I like to see that there's continued interest in that IPO outside of just oh, BYND came out today and we never talk about it again type of thing, right? And then the third and final thing that I really like to see is the options available for that particular product. So those are the things that I like to see when it comes down to trading an IPO. This is how I'm trading BYND right now. You guys will know in just a couple of days here, those options expire on Friday, whether or not this position ends up working out. So thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed this video and gives you a little light into how to trade these IPOs, or at least how I trade these IPOs. And a ton of other videos here on the channel. If you guys are new around here, make sure you click that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed this content. I go live each and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, sharing my thoughts and analysis on what I'm looking for this market to do. If you guys have questions about individual equities and things like that, that's the time where you can come in and pop in and ask me those questions as well. And then also there's going to be a bunch of other links in the description below if you want to join me in the Discord to watch me trade live, work with me there, and then some other links down below as well. So feel free to go ahead and check those out. Thank you guys so much. Give me a thumbs up on this video. Leave me a comment below if you're already trading BYND or if you've traded IPOs in the past. And I will talk to you guys on the next video. Take care, trade safe, and I'll see you then.